Strange New Worlds is a better Kirk story than the one J.J. Abrams' Star Trek rushed through. When Star Trek blasted into theaters under the direction of J.J. Abrams, it did what it set out to do: reintroduce Captain James T. Kirk as a rebellious, swaggering prodigy destined for greatness. It was loud, fast, emotional, and kinetic. But in its race to coronet Kirk as captain of the Enterprise, it skipped something essential: character. More than a decade later, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds has quietly delivered a more thoughtful, textured Kirk story without even making him the main character. And that's precisely why it works. Abrams' Kirk, a legend on Fast Forward. Abrams' reboot introduced us to a Kirk shaped by tragedy. His father dies in heroic sacrifice at the hands of Nero. He grows up angry, reckless, brilliant, and adrift. When we meet him as a young adult, he's stealing cars, picking fights in Iowa bars, and daring the universe to give him something worth believing in. It's compelling mythology, and Chris Pine plays Kirk with undeniable charisma. But here's the issue. The 2009 film rushes Kirk through his growth. In the span of a single movie, he goes from insubordinate cadet to captain of the Federation's flagship. He cheats on the Kobayashi Maru, gets suspended, sneaks aboard the Enterprise, disobeys orders repeatedly, and is rewarded with command. The film tells us Kirk is special. It doesn't show us the long, messy process of becoming a leader. By the time the credits roll, Kirk has achieved the position that took William Shatner's version years of implied experience to earn. The myth outruns the man. Strange New Worlds slows Kirk down, and that's its strength. In contrast, Strange New Worlds introduces Kirk gradually through Paul Wesley's performance. This Kirk isn't instantly iconic. He isn't immediately in command of the Enterprise. He's a lieutenant, a first officer, a man still learning who he is. And that restraint makes all the difference. Wesley's Kirk is thoughtful where Abrams is impulsive. He's analytical, strategic, and emotionally perceptive. We see him making hard decisions. We see him fail simulations. We see him navigating romantic tension and professional responsibility. Most importantly, we see him earn authority through competence rather than destiny. In A Quality of Mercy, Strange New Worlds presents an alternate timeline where Kirk commands the Enterprise during a Romulan crisis. The episode isn't about flashy heroics. It's about command style. Pike tries to solve the conflict with empathy. Kirk chooses calculated aggression. Neither approach is portrayed as simplistic. Instead, the show explores the weight of command. That's a Kirk story. The power of perspective. One of the smartest creative decisions Strange New Worlds makes is keeping Kirk as a supporting character, at least for now. By filtering Kirk through the eyes of Captain Pike and others, the show invites us to observe him objectively. We're not told he's legendary. We're allowed to evaluate him ourselves. That's something Abrams' film couldn't afford to do. The 2009 movie had to establish Kirk as a franchise lead immediately. It needed him to become captain before the end credits. The story bent around that requirement. Strange New Worlds doesn't have that pressure. Kirk's future is secure. We know where he ends up. That frees the writers to examine who he is before he becomes a symbol. It's the difference between watching someone be crowned and watching someone grow. Command isn't swagger, it's judgment. Abrams' Kirk wins through instinct. He leaps before looking. His emotional boldness often proves correct because the script ensures it does. Strange New Worlds complicates that narrative. Wesley's Kirk weighs probabilities. He studies adversaries. He recognizes when aggression is strategically necessary rather than emotionally satisfying. In The Quality of Mercy, his decision to fire first isn't framed as recklessness, it's tactical realism. That nuance restores something vital to Kirk's legacy. The original portrayal wasn't just a hot-headed cowboy in space. William Shatner's Kirk was a stack of books reading, chess-playing tactician who agonized over his choices. Strange New Worlds remembers that. Abrams' film, in contrast, leans into the